Rita, when you're in workshop in a Photoshop and you're doing your colors, do you have any kind of formula? And I don't mean not a definite formula. Do you have any kind of way that you pull up to enhance the colors that you want?
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of, I kind of have a habit. Um, like for instance, on this one, I probably first I'll crop it, and then I'll size it to make sure it's going to be, like this. This could be, if it was a 5 by 7, it'd be a little longer. If it was an 8 by 10, it'd be a little shorter. And it's a 9 by 12, so it's that rectangle there. Um, and then I'll increase. Sometimes if the shadows are too dark, I might have something in here that shows. Well, here's a good example. It doesn't show the steps, but here's a photo of a little fawn. And you can see that the fawn is standing in shadow and has a bright background. So the fawn looks very dark. So what I did was I took, there's a tool in Photoshop, and I wouldn't know how to tell you to do this in any other program, but in Photoshop, it's the image adjust. It's an image and then adjust. And it's way kind of down at the bottom. It's called shadow highlights, shadows/highlights. And with those two sliding scales, you can raise the value of shadows, just shadows, not anything else, or bring down the values of highlights. Like if you have highlights that are really too bright, as long as you have some data in there, like on this photo for this cow, all of that highlight was just completely blown out. There wasn't any more detail in there, so it didn't work on that. But if you just generally have highlights that are too light, you can bring them down in value. You can do that with the shadows. It works great. So that was the first thing I did on this. And then I enhanced the colors. I brought the intensity up.
And you enhance the colors when you enhance the colors, which ones do you?
It's the image adjust saturation. Mm-hmm. It's called saturation. So you just slide up the saturation usually about 25% to 30%, somewhere in there. Works really nicely.
Okay.
Yeah. But that shadow highlight tool, I didn't even know about that until a few years ago when I heard another artist talking about it on some video blog thing that she had. And I was like, shadow highlight tool. I'd been using, if you're at least a little bit familiar with Photoshop, are you familiar with like the levels and the curves?
Yes.
I've been using levels and curves for everything. And that shadow highlight tool will do what the levels and curves will do, like that. It's just like, it's amazing to bring up shadows, to take a photo from that to that. Yeah, go. Yeah. So those are the two things I do almost as a matter of habit. If I have a photo, like I'm sure I did it on this photo, I'm sure those shadows were just way too dark. And so I lifted them up just a little bit so that you could see just some of those blues and violets in there. Mm-hmm. I don't know how that's coming through on your monitor, but pretty much all of these photos have been like that. Oh, here's another one. Here's one that shows you. Okay, so here's an original photo. If I'm gonna turn this, let me give you a slightly larger view of this. Drag this out. Okay, so here's a photo of a fawn, and it was in my backyard on a cloudy day. Cloudy, but I love the pose. I haven't actually painted this one yet. So first I did was crop it. I cropped it, and this is a square. And then I probably did the auto adjust levels, which just adjusts the contrast and the colors to make it a little more natural. And then I did the shadow highlight thing, brought that up, or wait. Actually, from here to here, I probably did the color adjusting the colors in each of the midtones, highlights and shadows to get rid of all the blue. From there to there, it got kind of blue violety. So I increased the yellows. And then I did the saturation. And then what did I do? I should have made notes on this. I'm not really sure. I might have done the shadow highlight thing again to bring up the shadows a little more. So there's still, it doesn't look like a sunny day, but it's quite a bit more vibrant. Looks like a brighter day for sure.
It's amazing.
But it's fun to play with, you know. Like I can spend all day just doing this kind of thing on my computer. I have a file folder in my computer that's called pre-comps, and that's short for preliminary compositions. And I'll just put like a bunch of, you know, I'll play with photos, do a bunch of stuff, and if I'm not going to work on them right away out here, I'll just throw the image into my pre-comps folder. And then on another day, when I really need to paint something, but I don't have time to prep the composition, I'll just go into my pre-comp folders and say, well, what do I have in here? And let me see, oh, here's one. Let me just throw that to my tablet and get it out here.
Thank you, Rita.
Sure, no problem.